Don't think I know you. What do you want? Yep, that sure is the passphrase, even if it is dumb as hell. What's Dash's plan? You're looking for cargo from our ship, the Rat King. Small package, wrapped in brown paper. It got moved to the shipping yard, but I'm not completely sure where. I'm sure some sluggite knows how to find it, or has it listed in a terminal. All else fails, you could just case the joint. Might end up with some extra loot for your troubles.
Greetings, criminal. This unit would implore you to confess to your crime of landing with an expired permit. Please explicate your defense into this unit.
Oh no. Oh, damn it. When did this happen? How'd they get in?
Unit's permit reading equipment was updated only last week. Please tell me.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
You ain't got the foggiest idea whether I'm telling the truth or not.
Correct. Criminal. However, Constable Keen has decreed that this unit will remain here, questioning you every minute until you submit a confession. Error. Information on recent exchange lost. Restarting conversation. Greetings, criminal. This unit would implore you to confess to your crime of landing with an expired permit.
You know what? My permit was fake after all. Let me out of here.
An aberration in the expected timeline for this organic being has occurred. Behold, the body of Maria Keene, formerly the constable of the Eridanos atmospheric complex. No signs of life detected. Maria Keene is survived by no known relatives. Excellent observation, Inspector. Multiple wounds located in the frontal bone and between the clavicles suggest she was facing away from her attacker. Furthermore, the location and circumference of exit wounds suggest a firearm with unconventional ammunition. Yes, Inspector. These entry wounds match the profile previously detected on the Rizzo's Rangers mascot. Constable Maria Keene was likely killed by someone wielding the Needler. These casings are too minuscule for conventional small-caliber firearms. Each casing resembles a lancing needle used for medical and surgical purposes. High concentration of potassium chloride detected. Trace amounts of neurotoxin detected. These substances show the highest concentration near the entry and exit wounds. Cardiac arrest, rather than physical trauma, is the most likely cause of death. Your memo has been noted. This unit has been programmed to offer encouragement during moments of emotional strain. Banter protocol activated. We'll find the sprat bastards responsible, Inspector.
Greetings, non-criminally associated individual. The Rizzo's constabulary is currently not closed due to a sprat infestation. Bureaucratic processes are currently suspended. At present, criminal reports do not require paperwork. Please lament only in marked lamentation zones. Please speak clearly into this unit's recording instruments. Understood. This unit requires a moment to process this information. Information processed. Personal designation upgraded to acting constable. Thank you, law-abiding consumer. This unit has not been programmed to simulate grief. Lamentation module not installed. This unit concurs with your inference. Unapprehended killers are likely to continue killing. Error. This unit is incapable of inspection, deduction, unassisted apprehension, or aggressive pursuit. This unit has been programmed to recommend a wine to pair with your grief. Wash away your sorrows with a glass of highly concentrated, partially fermented purple-berry wine. Has a body richer than Byzantium's elite, with an earthy aftertaste redolent of mostly oak. Purple-berry wine coming soon from Rizzo's.
Captain, look out!
that? Huh. Nothing there.
Hi there! Sorry, this area is off limits to port vision. Oh, wait half a second. You're the inspector. Sorry about that. I'll buzz you right in. Feel free to have a look around, ma'am.
Hey, you think they keep any spare parts down here? Just wondering.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. The biology of this sprat is highly unusual. This sprat has been in contact with multiple parasites, yet shows no symptoms of infection. An excellent point, Inspector. The unique immunological subsystem found in sprats is advantageous in fending off parasites, pathogens, and other biological threats. Based on slug records of board-issued punitive sanctions against sublight salvage and shipping, this sprat is most likely intended for cage fighting. A cursory analysis of this organism's anatomy suggests it was bred deliberately for its unusually large size.
Wouldn't be sublight without a discreet gambling den.
Hey there, little buddy.
Wait! Maybe this N-ray warning isn't decorative. I didn't even know they meant.
What the? Hey, you!
Whoa, hold a moment. Who the hell are you? Yeah, you and me both. Right.
You the new recruit. Welcome to the family.
You're back, I see. Hope the law hasn't caught on to what you're doing. Law meaning authorities, that is, not the forces running the universe. No complications? Grand. The recipient is Joseph Dempsey. He runs the Eridanos Dry Goods and Sundry. This is gonna sound a little stupid, but I got a thing about mechanicals. Don't like the way they move or the sounds they make. Gives me the creeps. I was drinking with Dash in the cantina when a funny-looking one trotted up beside us. Seemed like it was some kind of monster, so I started yelling, banging on it. Don't know what happened next, but I think it involved another mechanical. I passed right out then, and when I woke back up, I was here. Not the most graceful thing I've ever done. No complications? Grand. The recipient is Joseph Dempsey. He runs the Eridanos Dry Goods and Sundry.
Hello. Welcome to Eridanos Dry Goods and Sundry, the most standard and unremarkable general store this side of Halcyon. I'm Marketeer Joseph Dempsey, here to make your shopping experience as pleasant and normal as possible. A shipment, you say? The only shipment I'm expecting is 100 pounds of salt tuna a week from now. And I certainly don't expect it to be brought by an inspector. Is that supposed to be some kind of code phrase? It has no nuance, no subtlety. Sticks out like a bent nail. A constable could detect that from the other side of Eridanos. I learn about secret codes in my off time, for fun. It's never anything that I actually need to use, mind. An independent, huh? Be a big risk letting you into my sanctum. Though if you're telling the truth, I think it'd be more than worth it. All right. Follow me to the back. All right. So, as you can see, this actually ain't the most standard and unremarkable general store this side of Halcyon. Welcome to my black market. Whatever you're here for, weapons, information, contraband, cane and ointment, I've got it. Sorry for the frosty reception. Had to make sure you weren't with the constable. But seeing how you're a freelancer, I hope I ain't got nothing to worry about. Good. A worthy freelancer is hard to find. Since you're in the know, you can access my black market stocks, though you'll have to come by later. I'm waiting on my next shipment. Here's your pay. Good doing business with you, especially seeing how you didn't take this to the constable. Would have been a mighty pain in my tail end. See? No. But I might tell you what's in it, so long as it's nothing proprietary, volatile, or breathing. Let's have a little look. contraband weapon parts, a few chemicals for the crafting of high explosives. All fairly standard. Oh, and a canister of trimethyl sulfoxide. Where dimethyl sulfoxide is good at keeping folks in stasis, trimethyl sulfoxide is nice for helping refrigerators run. Useful stuff.
I don't know what to make of Sublight Underground. This port seems real busy. I wonder if they're trying to compete with the Groundbreaker.
Hope the job's coming along well. No sign of the constable, which really makes me more nervous. Excellent. Let's divvy up the payment 3 ways and we can consider this matter settled. Thank the law. Should be just enough to get Cass out of her damn cell. I guess breaking even is better than leaving with your partner in the clink. You might not be Hawthorne, but you can sure resolve a problem like he could. Maybe better. Thanks again for all your help.
The last of them!
Inspector, not a moment too soon. I've just finished my autopsy report. Ruth Bellamy was killed by plasma damage to the upper vertebrae, the occipital bone, and the cerebellum. If it's any consolation, her death was instantaneous and painless. I've also discovered a poisonous compound in Miss Bellamy's stomach lining ingested during her last meal. Toxic, but not enough to kill her. Spencer Woolrich complained of a stomach ailment around the same time period. I assumed he was being, you know, Spencer. But now I'm not so sure. Oh, most certainly. Well, possibly they were trying to make her extremely uncomfortable, but I suppose killing her would also satisfy that criterion.
thought occurred to me. I tested this hypothesis by vacating the contents of my stomach and testing for the presence of the same toxin. Slightly elevated levels of mercury and an alarming amount of blue food coloring. But other than that, no. I'm certain it wasn't, as you put it, just the hotel food. Oh, how curious. I do believe you're right. I wonder if this has something to do with the autopsy process. She was Halcyon Helen up until the moment I brought her to the operating table. But as soon as I cut her open, I stopped thinking of her as Halcyon Helen. It's almost as if she stopped being an icon and became a human being. I had a feeling you'd understand. What? Sorry, this mask. Sometimes I can't hear correctly. It almost sounded like you said Maria Keene was dead. Maria's been killed. I don't understand. How? Who did this? Helen's signature weapon. She brought it with her to the hotel. After we discovered Helen's body, Keene inspected her hotel room. The needler was gone. Rather harmless on its own. Common ingredient in medicine, but it can have a lethal application. Potassium chloride, when delivered in a cocktail of neurotoxin and paralytic, leads to cardiac arrest. Oh, merciful law. I'm so sorry, Maria. Maria and I were frequently at loggerheads. We disagreed on practically everything. It didn't help that I'm on Mr. Kincannon's payroll and Maria is a Rizzo's loyalist. Was a Rizzo's loyalist. Apologies, Inspector. I don't have the heart to continue talking at the moment. Thank you for your time. My apologies. I'm not in the mood to socialize.
The Grand Colonial Front Desk warmly welcomes you, Inspector. It's a pleasure to see you again. How may I be of assistance to you, Inspector? I'd love to, Inspector, but I don't really have the authority. Moreover, the guests were promised exclusivity. If I let you up there, I'll never hear the end of it. That's a good point. If they give me guff, I can just tell them that they're obstructing justice. That has a nice ring to it. Let me just set you up with VIP guest floor access. Done. You can now come and go as you please.
Aha! Always so nice to hear you, Inspector. I'll get you to your floor on the double. If you see Black Hole Birdie, be sure to get an autograph for me. Just joking. I've already got one.
About time you arrived. I see you haven't dressed the way I asked you to, but I suppose that was expecting too much of a non-industry lout. Expect a complaint to management. Now, unless you'd like to waste more of my time, I suggest we begin rehearsing. Ready? You've fallen right into my trap, Captain. Oh, don't bother to fight back. You cannot hope to stop me from installing philosophism as the system's reigning ideology. How does the scenery taste? Good, I trust? Wait a moment. You're not wearing a bellhop's ID, which must mean you're not Owen's understudy. That man can't even be relied upon to find his own replacement. Oh, no, this is curious indeed. Who are you, and how did you get in here? You're here to investigate me? Oh, I assure you, I'm nothing special. Just an old crook with more money than time. That was a quote from The Retiree's Revenge, in which I played an ex-thief turned decrepit old man. But, of course, I'm certain you already recognized it. Now, what shall I sign first? Your weapon? Your wallet? Or perhaps something, a little more personal? Undergarment signatures have been popular of late, or so I've heard. Do you mean to say you're not a fan? Well, then how did you get in here? The only staffer cleared for guest room entry is the inspector for Bellamy's murder. Oh. Oh! Hello. Terribly sorry, Inspector. I didn't realize it was you. Understand that I am beyond willing to comply with your search for the fiend that did Bellamy in. You know, now that I look at you, you're the perfect reflection of me, back when I starred in The Marauder's Bane. The absolute picture of justice. Ask me anything at all. I might even give you a straight answer. Certainly. But one quick question before we begin, if I may. How was it that Bellamy met her end? How awful. Whoever did this must have been quite heartless. I was meditating, of course. That's how I get into character. Respectfully, Inspector, it is rather counterproductive to commune with others while meditating. All actors have their methods, and this has been mine ever since I met that wonderful prophet of profitability. She taught me it for my role in The Unemployed Cometh. I had to lie face down on artificially heated pavement. The director wanted our suffering to be convincing. Needless to say, being able to leave my body helped to mitigate the pain, both during the 8-hour shoot and with the second-degree burns afterwards. I owe that woman much. Yeah, actually, only since I've been at the Colonial. The Unemployed Cometh was shot on site. That makes it, a few weeks. I cannot recommend her services enough. If you haven't been to see her yet, you really should. I'll answer whatever you wish. Bellamy has been my co-star throughout the autumn of my career. I should like to think I knew her. In fact, I cannot name a single role in the last 10 years that did not involve her in some way, unless you count the uncredited silent shopkeep on Melissa's Meteoroids. Oh, it wasn't. And don't think I haven't picked up on your tone. Resenting Bellamy is one thing, but killing her is another completely. It's also beneath me. Oh, come now, Inspector. What do you take me for? I'm an old man. I neither have the time nor the willpower to kill people for fun. Besides, I have my reputation to think of. I suppose that is enough on that grim subject. Indeed. The agonizing bowel pain was most undignifying. While I've certainly had no shortage of inadequate hotel meals, this was most explicitly pronounced. I suspect poison. And who would be most likely to poison me but Chef Anwar? Oh, we've clashed almost non-stop about his slop preparation. He must have tainted my meal in retaliation. None that I can think of. I treat all hotel staff equally, and with the minimum level of respect that they deserve. Is that a jibe? Could you imagine the tabloid headlines? Spencer Woolrich, Aetherwave star, spotted in gastronomic distress. Oh, unseemly hardly describes the half of it. How alarming! Whoever targeted her was certainly targeting me. I can only thank my ironclad constitution that I'm standing here before you. Oh, that's very good to know. Perhaps the poisoner simply meant to incapacitate us both, disrupt the product launch. I couldn't say, Inspector. I'm merely an actor. Very well, then. Oh, must I relive that ghastly event again? My intestines still have yet to fully recover. But I suppose we may discuss it further. Very well, then. I'm sure you're joking. Perhaps I'm not in my prime, but you've no doubt seen the name Spencer Woolrich on many a serial advertisement throughout your travels. You think? I mean, yes, of course. You have, obviously.
Zeke Hannigan, Rizzo's Rangers 16th back. Pleased to meet you. What can I do for you? Oh, you must be that inspector people have been talking about. It's a damn shame about Miss Helen. She was always real good to me and the rest of the Rangers. Birdie's taking it pretty hard. Miss Helen was the love of his life. So, what did you want to know? I'm ashamed to admit it, but me and a couple of the other Rangers spent the night in Constable Keen's cells down at the spaceport. We didn't do anything serious, just a bit of pranks and vandalism. It's what usually happens when we all get to drinking. Guess Constable Keen saw things a bit differently and had us hauled off. No, we lost him somewhere along the way. Or maybe he managed to get away? I can't rightly remember. But he was definitely not sharing a cell with us. That much I know. Oh, Brady was mad about Helen. He was certifiable. The big galoot loved Helen about as much as he loved the game. Trouble is, Brady was not blessed with an abundance of temper. Helen kept Brady steady. If he lost his temper around her, it'd be because something broke between the two of them. What? Law, no. Birdie's got a fierce temper, but there's no way he'd ever have laid a finger on Miss Helen. Miss Helen was outspoken. She made her share of enemies on account of her expressing herself. Just between you and me, I heard rumors the Prophet never much cared for Helen's brand of blunt honesty. What can I do for you? About half my life. You know I was named 3rd most profitable investment on 2 non-consecutive seasons? Ain't a lot of players who can make that claim. Except for the guys who came in 1st and 2nd, I guess. I spent the last season injured and almost got sold to the Hephaestus Hammers, but now I'm all convalesced, ready to lay into some Cleo darlings, you know? Really break some legs. Since it's the off-season, we're helping support the launch of Rizzo's Spectrum Brown. Meet the fans, sign tossball cards, that sort of thing. How about you, fella? You after a signature?
Nah, I think I'll pass.
He's just being coy. Anyway, where was I? Just between you and me, Rizzo's ought to cancel the whole event out of respect for Miss Helen.
We're all seeing that woolly cow, right? Not just me? Okay.
Timeline discrepancy detected. Multiple discrepancies detected. First discrepancy. A woolly cow is present in this hotel room. Woolly cows are an import species for the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve and are incapable of affording upper-class accommodations. Second discrepancy. This woolly cow is dangerously inebriated with Rizzo's Spectrum vodka. Alcohol sanguinization ratio exceeds recommended maximum. Zero. This unit has not been programmed to include bovine jurisprudence in its library of information. A brief survey of this area reveals that the most recent occupants were athletes belonging to the Rizzo's Rangers Tossball Club. Insufficient data. A brief survey of localized property damage, divided by the area of this room, yields the following estimate. This unit was likely occupied by every member of the Rizzo's Rangers. -1.
Aha! Always so nice to hear you, Inspector. I'll get you to your floor on the double.